God, this is awkward. Hello. Hi. Hi, you two. So I guess this has been a while since I last did it, and there's several changes I made in the past couple of months, all thanks to the roulette and shit. And I guess it's time to share with you guys what I've done and what I've changed and all that good stuff. And probably, I guess, what I usually use to like do my daily stuff. Okay, alright. So I guess first I will mention about Guild Wars stuff, because I think that's what everyone is here for mostly. So the Guild Wars stuff is actually fairly simple because, well, 650. Just have 650 and one other random character here and Jiki and done. Yep. Actually, you know what? I should switch to Rune Slayer so I can level Rune Slayer or something. Because Rune Slayer can essentially use the same weapon anyway. Because my Rune Slayer is not leveled yet. See? Level 1. Because, you know, there's like a whole bunch of new Rune Slayer memes and shit. So, okay. So yeah, that's really what I did with my OTK setup. I just used 6. 150. Because he hard carries the fuck out of it. This weapon is not needed, obviously. But yeah, I'm using typically the same shit. The 2 Fidel Spines, 2 Agonize and stuff, blah blah blah. I originally wanted the bar Fidel Spear, but I'm not doing that. I decided to say fuck it. Because I rather my future plans on barring shit is probably going into water instead. Because water seems pretty cool for the time being. All thanks to the likes of having Lancelot and shit. Okay. And also, yeah, well, I did actually get another water character earlier with my subtext, but I'll let you guys know later. Okay. So yeah, I just stuck with Agonize because it's more or less the same anyway, and technically it's much better to use when it comes to like double Ogi anyway. Yes, I did stone that if anyone's wondering. This one is still like the Freya chain thingy, so it's nothing special really. So I'm just using this shit. I do only have one PNS, pain suffering, whatever, Leech's weapon, and I decided to put that in there just so I can get more XPs. Yeah, all good. So I can get them candies. All right, time to show, I guess, which is nothing special to be honest. 6 does everything. Technically 6 does most of the work. Six does most of the work. I mean, you see soon enough. 6 definitely does most of the work. See? It's just 650, okay? So like I said, right? Like the other character, like I'm using Tabina, right? You can essentially just put someone else in there. Heck, even Kolulu works, like maybe Vaseraga or some other shit. Heck, even Vite is actually really good for this slot as well. So yeah, that's what I did. That's my OTK setup. But yeah, Dark's OTK is fairly easy these days just because that you can... The Ogi strat, you just have 6 high level and he carries your ass. If not, then you have to probably have Agonize and stuff and maybe go like a 3 character chain or something. That's probably what you may need to do. Yeah. And then you have like the skill damage setup and stuff. That usually kind of works. Unless you have like probably 2 PNS or whatever. Because I think if you have 2 of those, right, you can just go with the auto setup. Where I think usually what I've seen is that they always you make use of Summer Amira. They also make use of what's her name, Mag as well, I think. But yeah, it's mostly has 6 as well in there. And yeah, and what's the class name? Asparas. Yeah, Asparas, you need to be at least Mastery 20 if I recall correctly to actually get that OP support passive thing that gives MC a lot of amplify damage cap stuff. So, and then you use Babu main summon, if I recall correctly. That's kind of like the strat these days. But yeah, it's like they use the 2 PNS setup and 2 Shalim access and stuff. Yeah, people be using that for the auto strat. It works relatively well, but I don't think you really need to go with that. Honestly, it's like if you're still relatively weak, just stick to the Relic Buster setup and you use any of the characters that has any extra nukes. Full Limit Break 6 still kind of works because he does have an extra nuke at Full Limit Break already. And then you have like, yeah, Sama Tabina, you have Vite, you have, what's that? Kolulu, Vaseraga, who else? I forgot who else. Yeah, Sama Amira works as well. Sama Amira can technically Ogi relatively hard too, so you can use that as well. Yeah, those few shit. So, I'm not really here to teach you how to fucking do your OTK. This is mostly just my update for you guys, rather. If you really need help, you can always come on stream and ask anyway. But yeah, so that's my OTK for Dark, and I'm not sure what am I gonna really use for the likes of Nightmare 150, because Nightmare 150 usually we will only see when Guild War is released, because we don't really know what the boss actually has in store for us. But I'm fairly certain the setup always will probably consist of 6 Fidel and Leech anyway. But yeah. So the other one for like Nightmare 95 stuff, I'm just gonna stick with my wrestler setup. I probably think maybe you can actually just go, because now I'm sure you guys probably know by now, or probably have seen already by now, there is like a Rune Slayer setup for the likes of Akasha, where you make use of Leech, Fidel, and 6, and then you go use Opus main hand, and you also use the Echo chain thing from Belial, because I'm not sure if you guys know, if you use the Echo chain, which is the last one. My internet is fucking slow right now, it lags like shit. Yeah, this one. So as you can see, this is the really important one. So this applies to your entire party. So your entire party can double strike. There's a high chance that the Rune Slayer strat might actually be much better for Nightmare 95. Honestly, I'm not sure. You probably can do it in maybe 1/2 turns, but Wrestler can essentially do the same thing anyway, so I don't think that really matters. So that's why. The reason why I haven't actually done the whole Rune Slayer shit yet, I technically could, but I'm just too lazy to slime my Rune Slayer. Because for my case, usually what I tend to do is that whenever I want to slime something, I want to slime at least an extra character along with it, not just with MC. Most of my characters are already maxed, like, leveled enough. I don't really have to slime them anymore. The real important ones. You know, like my Fidel, Leech, all that, they're all done already. I don't have to slime anymore. So I'm really not gonna do that. I'm probably just gonna slowly level up by mashing EX plus for my Rune Slayer, I suppose. If I actually get level 20, maybe I can try. Because you only need level 20 Rune Slayer for that to work. Because you get the extra crest stuff. You need the extra crests on the Rune Slayer to actually get that to work or whatever. For like this specific strat I'm referring to. But yeah, you need that specific ones, and yeah. The grid is very likely the whole 2 PNS setup, but if I recall correctly, you can kind of make do with just one as well, but yeah, I'm not going to do that right now. My grid for my wrestler did change a little bit, just because, well, I have this now. Technically, I have this now. I slot in one Agonize as well in there. And I swapped my Seraphic with a ULB, what's that? Ultima? Yeah, I'm also using Enmity in there. Because, you know, it applies to both of them anyway. The only one that it doesn't, this thing doesn't work on is really just Zoe, but Zoe is just there to give you conjunction anyway, so it doesn't really matter. This one works on 3 of your characters, so that it all works out, so it's all good. But so far, this definitely works. Like, even for my Akasha, the 2 turn setup or whatever, it definitely works. Yeah, yeah, so that's what I changed. I need to add these 3 different things in here. I also like what I originally was using, like the fuck was I using before? I remember I was using Leech's Stick or something, just so I can go for 3 turns. Because I'm using Sky Piercer. Because Sky Piercer only allows your MC to survive for 2 turns most of the time, if you're using conjunction shit. But yeah, so I don't really need that anymore, so I just, well, remove that and use that, and I have more cap now, and yeah, it's much better. Technically, Agonize is not really that useful here, but it's only there just so that I can rely on 6's counter and maybe her S1 a little bit, but that's pretty much about it. So yeah, that's the main changes that I technically did for Guild War. But I guess the other change that I'm just going to update with you guys is like all the stuff that I use for full auto, or like my daily routines and stuff. So first and foremost, I guess I'll let you guys know, like, I only use this for like the few shit, you know, like Akaram and stuff. I do not have anything in there because it doesn't really matter. All these stuff only really matters, really. Yeah, all this stuff is the one that really matters, because, you know, I just give lots of cap for her. And yeah, so pretty straightforward, plain damage shit. So this is like my go-to ground zero setup, and yeah, I think I showed this before. The other ones is like, okay, so for my fire, I have like this one, which I haven't changed yet. Can you please load, game? Game, please. Thank you. So I haven't changed this yet. This is one of those few things I haven't changed yet, and it still works for me, so I stuck with it. I just put Babu in there for every single grid that I'm using. So this is the rest of the setup that I used if I want to burst like Tiamat, HL, or whatever. And then for like my full auto setup for Grimnir or other shit, I just use this Relic Busters, which is the same fucking grid. No difference whatsoever. Same grid, same summons, and just different characters. That's really about it. No difference whatsoever. Nothing. Okay. And then for my water is the one that I actually really want to change. So I think you guys probably seen this like a while ago, because I was showing like the whole Lancelot thing. But that was like, this is kind of like the Varuna stuff that I had at the moment. So this was the thing that I originally wanted to upgrade on, because my water setup is still a little bit like fixed in a way. I can't really like properly do like the Luca shit yet or whatever. Because I do have it here, because yeah, I did subtix her not too long ago and shit, and I already have anytix this guy last year. So I haven't really made use of him yet. So I need to make use of him, and yeah, I don't really. I was thinking maybe I might just slot in like my bar, like what's that, a Lancelot's weapon, or maybe a second Folia's bow or Taisai bow, whichever you want to call it, this one. I was thinking of doing that just because I can have a little bit more flexibility, and technically bars isn't really like a problem right now for my case. So yeah, I'm just like trying to like let you guys know like stuff is happening in my head and shit. So these are like all the few things that I might consider in like the near future. By near future, I mean probably like after Guild War or something. I'm actually considering, because Lancelot's weapon on the likes of the Varuna is actually really nice, because, you know, like the whole, you know, the weapon that is very similar to likes like World Ender with the whole big supplemental and skill cap shit. That kind of weapon is, I would say, is relatively good in water at the moment, just because that water doesn't really have like, you know, the likes of Agonize, for example. They don't really have those. That's why it's gonna be really great. And yeah, it helps relatively hard, because this guy gets so much damage. You know, you get so much damage out of him if you actually slot at least one of his weapon into the grid. So yeah, you just let Lancelot just do all the damage for you. Who needs MC, right? Okay, so that's my plan for the likes of water. And so my water Luca, you probably kind of saw that earlier. That was like my plan for the Luca. And then like the full auto setup, I'm actually using this. This is like the full auto setup that I use for like Shiva, fucking Wilnas and shit mostly. And it mostly works. I do not have fucking Belial in here yet because I haven't really used this for a while. Haven't really used any water teams to full auto yet. But yeah, I'm probably just gonna put Belial in here and just swap Kaguya with this and call it a day. And it should still work anyway. So that's my water full auto stuff mostly. My Earth full auto, I think I'm actually just leaving it as this right now. It's either I use this with Octo or I just use Sarasa with her. Should be still fine anyway. But yeah, grade-wise should be still the same for like my full auto stuff regardless. So yeah, typically the same shit. No difference whatsoever. I didn't really change this. Just slot in Tiger because Tiger is so fucking strong. Like, no shit, right? And then yeah, you have this guy now to make things even better. Just to make her even stronger if you're planning to manual a little bit. So that's my Earth full auto. My Ogi Earth, I do have two. I have two of those. One is like the 0 button shit, which I think I still have, which is literally the same as last Guild War. I think last Earth favorite Guild War I was using this as well. And yeah, it works. This is technically like a 4 Ogi. But yeah, still pretty nice. Still does relatively well with fucking Tsuchinoko at 0 stars. Oh wow, actually 1 star now. The other Ogi team that I'm using is for like the likes of Ultimate Baha, which is this one. So Ultimate Baha nowadays, I think probably you guys can mash like crazy right now as well because 0 material requirement to host and everybody's hosting it like crazy. So you can just join that shit and mash. So typically almost the same thing, but yeah, lots and lots on Ogi because you have 2 from MC, 2 from her, and then 1 each here. Because Octo is only doing single Ogi. So that's still relatively a lot of Ogi. So that's, yeah. So this typically does like, I think, usually on average like 360k honors on 1 turn, more or less, on a relatively slow run. Because I need to press a lot of buttons. But hey, it still works, right? Okay, so that's the other team that I have. For win, I do not really have an as OTK setup. More like I used to. I deleted that team because I don't really use that anymore. Because I only use like my burst setup and my full auto setup, which is, so this is my burst setup now, which is essentially the same other than me changing this ULB Katana, Ultima Katana, because we are only just stacking our damage on her anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So I have that. I remember I borrowed this for last Guild War. I did not really make use of that too much, but I decided to put that in here and it's working out. Okay, so that's my burst setup for win. And my full auto setup, I am usually using this one. Yeah, my full auto setup, I'm mostly using this because I recently also got my Neo to 150, so I'm kinda make use of Neo a lot more. I use Siete just because, you know, just so I can get her to double strike more often kind of shit. The first few turns kind of sucks for this, but it's still okay. I put in like 1 fucking spoon just for extra HP, but this grid is kind of, in a way, is a little bit scuffed, but it works, right? There's too much crit in here because I have 3 of these and I'm also using a double Tiamat anyway. Typically, I don't really need this, but I already borrowed it anyway, so I might as well just make use of this for the time being. But yeah. So I'm using this for my full auto mostly. And yeah. Okay. Alright, so then my light setup. I recently got this to somewhat work. It's not the greatest because I need one more Eden to make it really well much better. So I need one more Eden to get that much better. So but for now it's still somewhat usable. I'm not sure why is that in there. Oh wait, right. I actually need that as a quick summon, I forgot. So I need Metatron buff to actually help me. But yeah, I got him not too long ago because I remember I got him on Leech's banner on her release. I YOLO rolled, but I only got him. So sad. And this was my summer spark I got her, so I'm just using this. And with Wrestler and shit, so it works out. Yeah, it just works out. Okay, so and then my full auto team-ish kind of whatever team is this one. And still works relatively well until today. So I'm not really complaining. I can kind of use this for Osiris, I use this for Avatar, all kind of shit. I basically use this for all those, you know, typical daily routine stuff that I need to like full auto or some shit. And yeah, it works. Because they still do damage, and there's a high chance that I'm very likely going to get Song to 130/140 after this coming Guild War. I'm probably gonna keep the blue toilet paper until the end because I want to see if it's really. I mean, it's very likely going to be light favorite anyway because light favorite hasn't been out for quite some time. I just want to see like when are they going to do it? Like when is the date for it? That's really the only thing I'm waiting. Really, I'm not really. I could actually just grab the blue toilet paper right before the Guild War starts, which is what they usually do anyway. But I'm only going to use the blue toilet paper until, well, the end. At the end of Guild War, when they announce the upcoming Guild War. I'm only just waiting for that. No, I am not going to use Nehan's weapon in the near future. I do not have that planned out yet. I don't really plan to bar any weapons for my light yet. Unless I do actually get my 4th Eden, then yeah, probably I'll use that. I'll bar that for like my wrestler or something. But for now, I'm not really going to bar anything else for my light. My light has like, it's just going to stay the same until much later. Yeah, not gonna change whatsoever for my light. And then so okay, then my light OTK, I am still in the midst of fixing it or whatever, so this is still kind of like a scuffed grid for now. But I remember I was just trying to my plans for this is that I'm trying to get this to be swapped away, because my problem from what I've tested so far is that Song's damage is very inconsistent. Supposedly she's not even hitting cap, but yeah, it was very inconsistent. So I'm trying to get Ultima Bow to get this to work. So what I'm trying to do right now is that I do have enough materials, but I'm only going to make this much later. I'm going to make a ULB Ultima Bow just so I can get my Song to work properly, because I am going to use like double Longdong setup anyway. Yeah. And then I'm just gonna swap this with that. I mean, technically this guy gives Seraphic weapon in a way. I mean, Seraphic mod in a way to everyone. But with ULB, it kind of gives a little bit more. So I'm just hoping that technically helps me a little bit. Yeah. Also, if you didn't know, this Zoe's gun that I got in my grid right now was technically from Roulette. I got the final piece to just combine all of them during Roulette. Yeah, I actually got this during Roulette, if anyone's wondering. Else I wouldn't have actually gotten enough copies. So okay, so this is my so-called light OTK work in progress for upcoming Guild War. I'll update again later on, so don't worry about it. And then we move on to my dark, which I think I already showed it to you, which is this one, and then the other one. But I think the other one I didn't really show is that, which is the, I mean, technically I did show because I already showed the video, which is this Kango shit. I already shared this grid in a way. And if you're wondering what this key is, this is actually the prosperity slash progression key from Fa. So, because I already have so much stamina anyway, it doesn't really matter too much. So I decided to switch this to progression. It seems to be working fine anyway. My damage is still consistent from like turn 1 all the way till the end regardless. But yeah, so that's my summon setups, whatever. Technically my Belial should be here, but there are times where I actually use this call from time to time, but yeah, typically I don't really need that. So this is the one that I'm using right now. The characters, because yeah, I'm pretty sure you saw this already because I showed this in the previous video. In, you know, when I got Fidel or whatever. So this is like the full auto setup that I use for the likes of like Luo, of Metatron and shit. Yeah. Okay. And then the other thing that I probably have not really properly shared yet is the so-called changes that I did for the upcoming, well, not upcoming, like the endgame, so-called endgame raids and shit. So wait, I'm not sure if I actually shared my Earth for SUBaha, but I probably did anyway. So like my Earth SUBaha is this stupid thing, which I'm relatively comfortable with already. I don't really think I need to change all that much. So I am still using this setup, which is kind of the same. This is a progression as well. Yep. So it's all the same, everything the same. The only difference is this stupid weapon here. And then the other difference I changed was that I put I did a single stone mandrake. Just because. Why not? It's not really that bad, one stone anyway. And then yeah, Babu. Because yeah, Babu, right? Do you need me to explain how stupid Babu is anyway? But yeah, so this is my SUBaha setup, which is kind of normal, I guess. And then for Babu, like Babu itself, I'm using this. God, I fucking hate Mugen. But yeah, I'm also using technically almost the same grid as like the SUBaha one, but just add a little bit more damage all around. So I have this now, I have this, yeah. So mostly just more damage. I'm also using this as well because I am using Sanophon. Yeah, it's Babu shit, right? Babu is like super easy, and then it's one Kirin and call it a day. I did not freaking put Babu summon in here because like, I don't know, it's so packed, you know? Because I have this as well. If I did not have Galleon maxed out, right? Because I have this maxed out already thanks to Roulette as well. If it wasn't for that, I probably would use Babu. You know? But I felt like in comparison to Belial, right? This guy is more important in comparison to the likes of Babu. Babu is pretty cool, but like, I need all this, you know? This one helps. Gives me more HP and shit. This one allows me to have more HP as well. Just so I can, you know, survive a little bit better in Babu and stuff in case shit happens, you know. If so happen, I need to solo most of it or something, right? And then this one gives you more cap and shit because, you know, all this takes in effect all thanks to this guy because, you know, this guy is so fucking brain dead. So that's my Babu setup. And then my my Belial setup is that I'm using this now. It's a little bit scuffed, but it kind of works anyway. I'm supposed to change a little bit, but I'm still sticking with this for now since it still kind of works regardless. So yeah, it's typically, you know, 2 Majestas and shit. I am still using this because fuck all, I guess. It's not like I have the Shalim X and the double PNS stuff anyway, so I'm just using this for the time being, and it still works. Damage is still okay. Yeah. Summons is still pretty much the same as well. Titan is more for solo-ish kind of thing. And yeah, since I did manage to get this as well from my roulette, I'm just using it so I can get extra HP because, you know, Dark doesn't have any source of HP summons. So I'm using that. Yeah, yeah. Because, you know, Belial doesn't really allow you to summon too many times because, you know, you have like increased cooldowns whenever you cast your summon due to the field effect and stuff. So Kirin is essentially pointless. Yeah. So I think there's some people using like Shalem or whatever, but I just say fuck it and just swap into Fidel and call it a day kind of thing. That typically speaking, I should actually just do it on Leech rather, because you know you kind of want Leech to Ogi more often. But it seems to work out so far, so I just leave it at that. Yeah. Okay. The other ones that I probably might want to mention is I guess my Baha and Lindwurm setup kind of thing, which is kind of the same. So this is like the ones that I use for Lindwurm, full auto, and I'm using like my stamina shit here with single PNS and 2 Agonize here. Because I'm mostly at full HP most of the time. And I slot in 1. Technically, I could just put another Fidel sword in here, but it doesn't really matter too much. Yeah. So typically the same. I put a Grand Order in here just because I have a Grand Order full limit break, and it is a null boss, so that works. And then if you're using Fidel in the likes of Lindwurm, and if you're using Lumberjack, you just never die. You literally never die. You have so much heals, and I'm also using this stupid weapon that gives refresh. Yeah, just the constant heals, regen stuff I have every end of the turn. It just allows me to not die at all, the entire Lindwurm shit. And also because I'm using Belial. Technically, I'm using Belial support summon. I'm usually using Belial support summon. Same goes for my Baha. My Baha full auto is kind of like this. It's the same shit. See, it's the same fucking grid. It's just that my characters, I'm using Clarice instead of this. Just because that, for the most part, I prefer to have Clarice in there just so I can delay a little bit more. Just having an extra character to do constant delays is always really helpful. For the likes of Baha, just because that I don't really want to eat too many fucking hyper dimensions in case I need to full auto the damn thing. Yeah, there are times where, you know, nobody really joins. Unfortunately, you can get unlucky. But that seems very unlikely to happen regardless. But yeah, so this is what I use. And I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm not sure what else I missed in terms of like characters that I use for my daily routine and shit. So I covered like everything that I have that I use most of the time for, you know, my daily stuff, you know, like full auto, Ogi, OTK, whatever shit, burst setups, all that stuff. So that's the ones that I have. And this is a really long video, but this is for everything, including my Guild War and future plans or whatever. But yeah, so typically my future plans I already mentioned earlier was like for my water stuff. Because I really want to kind of make use of this, because this one's really strong. I did manage to get this one, all thanks to that crazy ass banner. Got a spare so I can save an extra bar. I'm still waiting for 2 more copies of this so I can get 1 ball done. I'm not really gonna borrow the ball ever. Yep. The other ones probably that I may want to do in future is very likely Zeph or something. But the problem with Zeph is that I still need 1 more Naru sword, which I do not have. Maybe an extra Grimnir spear as well, because I only have 1 Grimnir spear so far. So it's like, it's Grimnir spear, extra Grimnir spear, or more like my second Grimnir spear is more like the situations where I want to, like, you know, be in the, you know, it's kind of like how my Varuna is feeling right now, just so I can be a little bit more flexible in like what kind of grid that I'm using, you know. So that's more or less it. Other than that, what else do I need for win? I don't think I need anything else for win. Yeah, because I already have the rest. I have like Love Eternals, Reunions if so needed. I only need Grimnir Spears and Naru's weapon. The summon, I need like 2 more copies. I'm not really gonna fucking subtix that shit. Yeah, I still need like 2 more copies for Zeph. I can't really, I'm not really gonna stone it. As for Agni, I'm still super far away, so yeah, that's not something I'm really going to do at all. I still need like 1 more Ixaba, I think. 1 more Ixaba, and I need like 2 Reinhardt fists or something. Or either 1 or 2, really. I still do not have a single Reinhardt fist, that's a problem. I haven't gotten him yet. Then the other ones is like, I have to like, yeah, get this done as well. I do have a gangster knife done at least. But yeah, this Valentine Scats weapon, you kind of need to use that for the extra garrison for like hard raids or whatever, if I actually plan to use that in future. But yeah, not enough copies though. Wait, how many do I have anyway? Oh, I actually need one more copy. Not that far off. Alright, cool. Random Crimson Finger. But yeah, so I just need one more, so that's nice. Other than that, yeah. So other than that, I'm actually relatively okay for all primals setups. The only primals that I'm not done yet, as you can see, is the only fire and wind. And fire Agni is like I only have one so far, which is the Summer Spark. You guys probably may have seen. Yeah, I've only gotten one so far, all this while. In almost the 7+ years I've been playing, I've only gotten one. But yeah, I'm not gonna stone that shit. I'm just gonna wait for it. But yeah, I think that's really about it. I don't really have any other future plans for other elements, like say for like Dark or whatever. Because Dark is like, I'll only change my Dark if I get my second PNS. That's really it. If I do have that, then yeah, I'll upgrade the fuck out of it. For now, there's really no reason for me to do it with just one at the moment. I'm still okay with whatever stuff that I have at the moment. I think I can do relatively fine with stamina setup as well for the likes of Nightmare 150 or something. Hopefully. We'll see. Who knows. But yeah, that's all I have for now for my loadout update thing, whatever you so wish to call it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hey, alright, okay.